We welcome you into a special night at Washington High School. It's a city matchup between the Continentals and the Shortridge Blue Devils. What makes this an extraordinary night? The court is being dedicated to the late Hall of Famer and Washington legend George McGinnis. I'm Nathaniel Finch with the coach Kevin Kuntz on IndianaSRN. We're going to get you set for the 7:45 tip-off in a little bit. But first, let's go down to the court, the special dedication at George McGinnis Court.
Good evening, everyone. We come together as school, community, an inspiration, and a symbol of excellence. He led our school to a boys' state basketball championship in 1969, dominated the Big Ten at Indiana University, and brought home an ABA championship to the Indiana Racers, and became an NBA All-Pro. But beyond the trophies and accolades, George McGinnis remained a proud son of Indianapolis, a role model who never forgot where it came from. Tonight, as we celebrate his legacy, we ensure that every student who walks through these doors will know his name and his impact, not just in basketball, but in our hearts and this community. At this time, let me introduce Dr. Alicia Johnson, the Superintendent of Indianapolis Public Schools.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Alicia Johnson, the proud Superintendent of Indianapolis Public Schools. Before they take the court, we come together tonight to honor George McGinnis, a man who has left an indelible mark on our district, this school, our community, and the courts of both the ABA and the NBA. This evening, you will hear from some of George's high school friends, teammates, and our very own mayor, Joe Hobson. Each of us uniquely remembers George, but tonight, through these shared stories and reflections, we will ensure that his memory and his legacy continue to inspire future generations. With that, I'm really proud to announce that Indianapolis Public Schools has received generous sponsorship support to cover the cost of new indoor and outdoor signage that honors the legacy of George McGinnis. A special thank you to the Herbert Simon Family Foundation for this gift, which has been instrumental in making it possible. We'd also like to express our gratitude to Pacers Sports and Entertainment for their invaluable assistance in helping us to bring this vision and this night to life. On behalf of the Board of School Commissioners, some of whom are here tonight, if they'll give a wave, please. Thank you for being here. On behalf of our board and our entire district, we are so honored to honor Mr. McGinnis this evening, to his family, friends, and teammates who are here. Thank you for helping us keep his memory alive. And I'd like to welcome now the Mayor of Indianapolis, Joe Hobson.
How many Washington High School grads we got in the house tonight? How many Shortridge Blue Devils fans we have in the house tonight? It's here in this great city. It's my honor that we officially renamed the George Washington High School Gymnasium, and in so doing, recognize one of the best basketball players to ever come out of this city, to ever come out of this state. And there's a reason why George McGinnis is memorialized in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. He has loomed very large on the stage of Indiana high school basketball, which, by the way, I'm objective when I say it's the very best high school basketball in the country. And before he's in the Hall of Fame, George McGinnis played basketball right here in his hometown of Indianapolis, right here at George Washington High School. And as today's ceremony tells us, he left his mark. There's no one who deserves this honor, this day, right here in this school, more than George McGinnis. And with his name now attached to this gym, I have no doubt has so much more great basketball to look forward to for many years to come, including tonight's game. It is only appropriate that the Continentals tonight are playing the Shortridge Blue Devils. In 1965, it was the Continentals winning their first state championship with Eddie Bach, Billy Kellum, and Ralph Taylor, and Byron Wakeman. Then a few years later, it was Shortridge, led by the great Oscar Evans and Greg Allen, who all those made it to the mountaintop. And then came 1969. The late Louis Day, Wayne Pack, Jim Arnold, Steve Gavin, and Big George McGinn. Undefeated, 31-0. And I think that 1969 was the best high school Final Four in the history of Indiana high school basketball. And Washington won it all. So to have everybody here on a night to remember, I want to thank you to George Washington High School, to the IPS Board of Commissioners for making this happen. So as mayor, I'm going to turn things over to IPS District Director of Athletics, Darren Thomas, to give us some historical insight into this great gymnasium. And in doing so, as mayor, I wish the best of luck to both the Continentals and the Blue Devils.
Good evening, all of you, Mayor. Welcome, everybody. Again, with Darren Thomas on the district athletics for IPS. Proud to be here. That's a real basketball story right there. Every time I step into this gym, I'm just something that you all fight on today. That's the main little on the ball, racing down the off the ball here. But inevitably, I'll just give it the longest on that number 44 there, the late race 40 minutes. The history here is undeniable. See the ball from Mayor Offset. Don't know. The 1965 George Washington team was the second school in Indianapolis to win the state championship. And that dates back to 1911. There's a lot of history there with George Washington the second team from Indianapolis to win the championship. And then the other previous George team was in 1969, so George team's senior year, he won the Mr. Basketball Award and with 31-0 of the state championship. Now, you hear a lot about today, players getting physically advanced and how well they're developed, but that 1969 championship game against Gary Colson, I believe it was, it's on YouTube right now. So when you guys are trying to go to that game, tell me if those look like NBA players running around on that high school court in that high school basketball game. And I know some coaches maybe who love to see some players inside Steve Jobs the court and get him walk around the halls for that. That would be fantastic. But those guys were real good. And the game was so popular, they had players in the field. And University of Indianapolis, like they talk against it. So that's how popular they were. That's how they were. That's how they were receiving that function. And so, with that being said, all these years later, those schools are still heavily reviewed. They did the foundation for what we do today, right? So all our programs today, when I say our programs, I don't mean the programs of George Washington High School. So the IPS, and even Indianapolis, and Marion County Schools, Indiana's reputation as a basketball state stems from those teams in that 1960s era. And so when you hear about Indiana being a basketball state, you think about those guys and what they did. The substance that they provided and the hard work and talent of the board. So, with that in mind, only right to the big work afterward against the time, so the right to the game after the basketball match. So the future generations of great Washington Continentals, and those and learning you guys come up so we can celebrate you all.
So when I think back, I've seen a lot of transformation. When I remember the first time seeing George McGinnis, they moved here to Martinsville, Alabama. He was a snotty, nose little kid running around and off the weeds. His sister and I were classmates at 5, and our senior year at Washington High School, George went on from 5'11" chubby kid to 6'3", about 190 pounds. The other transformation I saw in my senior year at Washington High School was my January semester. There was this kind of small, quiet field going along. I said high school. He was about 5'9". 4 years later, he standing at 6'9", and that was Steve Dunn. Connie, George's sister, none of the women I attended the station. I just wanted everyone to know I'm happy for this honor for my brother. She, along with the descendants of Gaines family members in Alabama, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, would like to express their heartfelt gratitude to the Purchase Simon Family Foundation, Basic Sports and Entertainment, and IPS for recognizing Big Mac this way. While the McGinnis family takes immense pride in this tribute to George, the weight of the task is still very real, and they would like nothing more than to have George present for the honor. Naming the Washington High School Gymnasium after George means so much to the McGinnis family, and is a fitting tribute to his life and legacy. The family is thrilled that George will always be a part of the George Washington High School family, this Westside community, and all who have the privilege of knowing it. Thank you.
All right, as the hearing is closed, I want to thank everyone, thank all the speakers tonight. Speakers, please make your way forward. Be ready to unveil all the speakers. All right. So, all right, we are going to we're going to unveil the oversized basketball in the commemoration of Mr. McGinnis. So what we'll do is we're going to put a hand on the put a hand on there and on the top of the rip it up. All right, you all ready? Here we go. 1, 2.
we will not have a privilege of all the social media platforms.
What a ceremony there, George McGinnis Gymnasium here at Washington High School. We will pause for about 10 minutes, come back and get you set for what should be a great game between the Washington Continentals and the Blue Devils of Shortridge. That's next on IndianaSRN.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really serve a lot of people year round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open. And so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. You know, donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so we're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space, and so we have bed capacities. For sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, and which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to really open your eyes to the community's needs than to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler, Michigan. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner. Come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, exactly. For IndianaSRN, this is Keith Myers.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
We're not here to just sell you another piece of software. We're here to helping you procure the licensing, manage and monitor those licenses over time.
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization. We definitely work as a team to deliver solutions for our customers.
We're here to build relationships with customers, which is unique.
Hi, I'm Grayson, and our parents work in road construction. Every day they head out to make our roads safer and better for you. But did you know work zone deaths have increased 63% since 2010?
Wow, that's a lot. Please slow down and pay attention when you see all those orange signs. When you do, you're helping to keep our parents and everyone who works on the roads safe. Thanks for looking out for us.
This message is brought to you by your friends at Highway Safety Services. Stay safe, stay alert.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort correct food. You can expect a world-class experience. We've got incredible specials, great service. Everything that we do here is made from scratch. We hand-cut all our steaks in-house. Bring your family, come have some great food.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw. Boy, what a stick, huh? Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with three. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt. Insulting referees.
Threatening officials.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes.
Violent language in the stands.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot. It's not a game.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to the newly named George McGinnis Gymnasium at Indianapolis Washington High School. The Continentals hosting fellow city foe, the Shortridge Blue Devils. Tonight's broadcast on IndianaSRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, a leading equipment dealer since 1955. By Boilermaker Local 374, representing highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. By Wheeler Mission, for over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. By Burntner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. By Morales Group, in business to create a better future for you and your family. By Piper Logistics, your trusted logistics partners since 1994. By Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else? A large selection of food made from scratch and fairly priced. That's Aspen Creek Grill. Highway Safety Services, providing traffic control and pavement markings in Indiana for the past 60 years. And finally, by the IndianaSRN Sports Page. Follow the sports page every day with updates and news from coast to coast. Head to IndianaSRN.org. I'm Nathaniel Finch alongside the coach, Kevin Kuntz. We've got two evenly matched teams, Washington at 8-11 and on a two-game skid. Shortridge 9-13, now 3 straight losses for the Blue Devils. Coach, the good news is your records won't matter in 12 days when the IHSAA tournament starts.
Yeah, that's the good news for both teams. And for both teams tonight, somebody's going to come out of here with a victory, Nathaniel. They can get some positive momentum going in this last third of their season here coming up. You have 20 years plus of coaching experience, a few different schools around here, so you've been in the shoes of both of these guys. Omar Dillard for Washington in his first year with the Continentals and his 6th year overall. Tell me about what it's like leaving a place. He was at Tinley for 5 years. Now you have to try to establish a new culture as a guy who's done it a little bit. Yeah, you're starting over. The kids have to get to know your expectations. They got to know your style of coaching, and that can be on the court and off the court as well. But he did a really nice job at Tinley. He was at Indianapolis Tinley, won the sectional there last year, and he thought this opportunity at Washington was too good for him to turn down. So he'll get it going. He'll get them in the right direction. They've had some really, really outstanding games this year, and then they've had some games they just haven't been able to finish. As for the Blue Devils, coached by Ryan Mulcrone in his first year overall as a head coach. You've also been in that situation. What's it like in your first stop, trying to just figure out how to do this? Well, the biggest thing in your first year head coach is you learn it's a lot more to it than the basketball coaching on the court. That's the biggest thing that you learn. You go into it with all these ideas and all these expectations and all this excitement, and then you realize all the stuff you have to do away from the court that takes away from the stuff that you love. But once you kind of get a handle on that and manage that, then you can continue to build your program, and he's got some kids here that he's really happy with and pleased with how their season's going and hopes to finish strong. Shortridge a win away from doubling its win total from last year, so certainly a good season so far for Ryan Mulcrone. He's got 2 great guards that he's working with here. Sure makes your job a lot easier when Elijah Wilson and Gavin Lowry can be such big impact players. Yeah, you mentioned them both. Wilson at 22 points a game and Lowry at 13 points a game. They're best when they're going downhill and getting the ball in the paint and making things happen. That's something that he put a big emphasis on when speaking to me, and they've got to not just settle for jump shots all the time. And, like you said, they're coming off 3 straight losses, so what a great time to head into get some momentum going in the tournament, because when you look at their sectional, they got a really challenging sectional with that Cathedral and Addicts in their sectional, so they definitely need some momentum in this time of the year. It's an exciting city matchup. Shortridge 9-13, Washington at 8-11 should be a great one. We get you set, tell you about Washington and the Continentals roster after this on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Nathaniel Finch, Kevin Kuntz, IndianaSRN. We told you about the Blue Devils of Shortridge. How about the home team? Good news for the Continentals. Despite the 8-win season so far, a couple games below 500, they protect home court really well. 4-2 in this building, which is now, as you can see at the top of your screen, named George McGinnis Gymnasium. How about the ceremony from a few moments ago? Washington, led by Roosevelt Franklin, who is just a fantastic basketball player.
Yeah, he's a big-time player for sure. 24 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. They run a lot of stuff through him, obviously. And then a big thing about when I watched them a few times through the year is like their defense, when they get after it defensively, they can become a really, really tough basketball team. Sometimes they get disengaged on the defensive end of the court, and that can cause them some troubles. And then the other kid, I really like their big kid, Brewer, inside. Cameron Brewer, he's going to be a big matchup night for Shortridge because they don't really have anybody, I think, that can handle him. They're going to have to use multiple guys to try to slow him down.
Franklin, a top 10 scorer in the state. Oh, he also rebounds really well, those 8 boards a game. But you were talking to me pregame. A lot of schools are going to come out here to try to recruit. Keep an eye on Roosevelt Franklin. I think they're going to like what they see in this big and Cameron Brewer.
Yeah, very active kid. Can score it with both hands in the post. Plays really hard. Got a high motor. I've just really been impressed with his motor, his IQ, and his ability to finish around the basket. So, again, like I said, Shortridge has some size. They got some guys. They got Davis in there at 9 and 5, at the 6'5" kid. But they're going to have to use more than one guy on Brewer tonight if they're going to have success.
After that, not a ton of production. Obviously 25 points a game. Roosevelt Franklin accounts for nearly half of the offense that Washington puts out there. When you're thinking about the mind of Ryan Mulcrone, the head coach of Shortridge, what can you do to slow down Franklin, and how much does that open up maybe opportunities for the rest of this Continental roster?
There's different ways you can do it. They can choose to face guard him if they want. Some teams will have done that. They can choose to double him off every handoff and every ball screen. You might see some of that and try to get the ball out of his hands and make him a passer. And it will open up other opportunities for other guys. And if you're Coach McCroney, you'll live with that, right? If Roosevelt Franklin has 10 assists tonight, there's a good chance you're probably going to have a pretty good game because he's just not doing what they need him to do, which is score the basketball.
We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. You can throw the records out. Both of these teams below 500. They're on a few-game losing skid for Washington. They've lost 4 of 6. Shortridge, each of their last 3 games have resulted in losses. But when you're this close to the tournament, who cares about your records, right? What's the mentality these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, and it's a city game too, so that's important to these kids. These kids all grew up playing AAU against each other. They all know each other, so this is a game they're going to want to win. And then you get this whole ceremony thing tonight, which is really cool, but that can motivate your opponent too. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. Both teams need a win really, really badly.
The great George McGinnis, the late great George McGinnis, a Washington legend, a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. He was honored pre-game, obviously naming the gymnasium after him, which is pretty cool. You'll see in the far back corner that big basketball, the statue that they have with his mural on it. You'll love to see that for George McGinnis here at Washington High School. And, you know, we'll talk plenty throughout the broadcast about the impact he had here in the city, including that 1969 undefeated championship team at Washington. In the meantime, we've got a national anthem for you. And so we'll step aside for that, and then we'll get to the starting lineups and get this game underway. Should be an exciting one, the final push of the regular season before we hit postseason play here in just a few weeks. Nathaniel Finch, Kevin Kuntz, IndianaSRN. Hang tight.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Washington and Shortridge set to begin momentarily. First, let's hear the starting lineups from the PA announcer. There's your starting lineups. Kevin Kuntz, your keys to the game.
Yeah, for Shortridge tonight, they got to limit their turnovers. They're averaging way too many, over 16 turnovers a game, and that's way too many for them to have success moving forward when we talk about tournament time. They got to contain Franklin, double him on ball screens when they can. Don't let him get comfortable. They got to win the battle on the boards because Washington is a good offensive rebounding team, so they got to finish every defensive possession with a block out. And then for Washington, they've had good quarters. They've had good halves. Their coach Dillard really wants to see them put together 32 solid minutes of basketball, and then their size has to matter tonight. They've got to get extra possession on the offensive glass, and then for them, they're the opposite. They got to get Franklin going early, get him opportunities, and get him scoring the basketball.
Washington, white and purple uniforms, Continentals scripted across the chest. Jumping for the Continentals, Nate Mahone. And he loses the jump. You wonder if typically that's Cameron Brewer's job, but he'll start this game on the bench. Senior night, we wonder if that's why Darrell Wright, the center, you see big number 34 in the paint, getting the start today. So Shortridge begins with the ball. We'll see what they can do offensively. Kevin, you point out they like to shoot some threes, but how about this defense? Forcing the two, it bounces around, and that's a miss. How about the offensive rebound, though?
Yeah, that's a good look for them right there on that good early offensive rebound. They came out in the zone there, Washington did, which they typically don't play, but that could be because he's starting these seniors that don't have a ton of playing time. So we'll see how long Coach Dillard sticks with them.
Lowry missed. Davis tried to clean up, and he will be sent to the line for a pair of shots. Nate Mahone with his first foul, the senior. It didn't take us too long to get our first whistle today. Something with Davis. He's the 6'6" center. He missed a good chunk of the season. He debuted last week, and he's played pretty well these last few games. Been a big impact player.
Without Brewer out there, I imagine the ball will be in Joan and Franklin's hands even more than it usually is.
The offense with its first opportunity. Here's Franklin. Good defense from both of these squads early on. Here's the triple. It's a miss from Nate Mahone.
They're staying in that 2-3.
Shortridge with the three from well beyond the arc.
That's one way to get him out of a 2-3 zone, shoot him out of it.
Elijah Wilson from deep there.
Got ahead of himself there, Nathaniel. He got a little quick and got loose with the basketball.
Here's what looks like a long two. It doesn't matter because it's a miss. But yeah, to your point, the defense looking good. The offense, for the most part, looking good. Here's a walk as the senior Darrell Wright, not used to dribbling across the timeline. He took an extra step.
Yeah, it's 5-0. And again, you want to honor your seniors, but at the same time, you want to be competitive in this game. So at some point here, I look for Coach Dillard to make some substitutions.
Shortridge looking to build an early lead on the road. This nice city rivalry we have on this great Thursday night. Here's another triple, and that one goes awry. Offensive board is corralled in, and he knocks it off of a Continental.
And here they come, Nathaniel.
Bit of a line change for Washington. Like you said, keep an eye on number 33, Cameron Brewer, a great player for this Continental team.
Yeah, and Vandiver and Shelby are in too, so it's their normal lineup in there now.
Here's the inbound for Lowry, one of this great 1-2 punch. As it is saved in. How about the defensive play there from Washington? And now with the normal starting lineup in, can the Continentals get some offense going?
You see their face guarding Franklin right now, not let him touch the ball.
Brewer with an early touch, but he gives it up. Here's a turnover. On the move. Thought about a transition three. Now Shortridge will slow things up. Yeah, blocking foul there against Franklin. A lot of size for a guard. Franklin really has the whole package.
Yes, he's a big-bodied kid for sure.
Of course, a top 10 scorer in the state of Indiana. But there he gets called with a foul.
Well, they're staying in that zone, which means Coach Dillard's worried about those guards' dribble penetration. He wants to force jump shots out of those guys, and that's probably why he's came out in the zone.
Here's a deep three with some contact, nothing called. Now in transition, this is when Franklin is so talented, and he puts it in. They say a foul before it, though. They won't count the bucket. Franklin, the team's best free throw shooter as well, although they're not going to give him free throws here. The second chance that the normal starting lineup will have is a turnover last possession. Washington nearly 60 points a game. Here's a deep two, and boy, had no issues with that one.
Yeah, the Blue Devils defense was late on that trap. That kid was supposed to trap on that screen. He was late and gave Franklin enough room to get it off.
So Franklin gets on the board, as do the Continentals. See if that can spark some momentum for the home team. Good offensive movement here for Shortridge. Here's the runner, and it's short. That was Lowry with another miss, and up ahead, here's a lay-in.
Great pass in transition by Sanders right there to find Vanderveer for an easy layup.
Darius Vanderveer off the bench, normally a starter, but the junior watched his teammate on senior night. Of course, we'll give you the senior night festivities at halftime. But he comes in and gets on the board. Here's a corner three. No issues there. Elijah Wilson with a couple of those.
They needed that bucket. They'd had a couple of empty possessions there.
Nice response to a mini run from Washington. We'll see how the Continentals can respond themselves. Here comes Vanderveer. The triple, too strong from Sanders. Looks like it hit off the top of the backboard. Halfway through the opening quarter at George McGinnis Gymnasium, Washington High School.
First time they've extended their defense there. Little 1-2-2 full court press, and it caused a turnover.
Off the foot of a Blue Devil. And to your point, Washington now turning some defense, see if they can make it into some offense.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you press like that, you're not even trying to get the steal as much as you're trying to get them to speed up and make a mistake on their own, which is what Shortridge did.
Shelby barking out orders. This one's Brewer looking for something to do with the ball. Franklin on the inside. 3 guys in his face. Doesn't matter. His second bucket. Makes it really hard to defend Roosevelt Franklin when 3 guys isn't enough.
Yeah, he's got a real nice mid-range game. He's got that mid-range pull-up he already showed us, and then that little floater. He can score at all 3 levels.
Here's Lowry. Of course, him and Wilson over 60% of the offense, but Wilson can't get it to go. Washington a chance to tie or take its first lead. And there's the whistle. It looked like Lowry got possession, but maybe stepped out of bounds. So Washington another chance. Shortridge, Julian DeFrance enters. There's a bit of a small ball lineup here. Nice steal. Lowry off and running. Here's a 2-on-2. Lowry to the cup, and he lays it in. His first bucket today.
Real strong finish by Lowry there. Got it right up at the rim and laid it in. Washington's got to do a better job of getting the ball stopped in transition. That's too easy.
A moving shot. That was just a long 2. But a nice response for Washington. Here's a 3. You mentioned this, Kevin. A lot of 3s from really both of these teams, even if it's not always the best shot. Brewer with a great athletic play and making it count, Darius Vanderveer.
Heck of a save by Brewer to find Vanderveer for the lay-in. And they do love to push the ball. That's a big part of their game. So The Blue Devils got to get back in transition D.
Another missed triple. Tie game, first time it's been like that since we were scoreless. And another three. Boy, this could be some kind of game if they just take 4 steps and chuck it up every possession. Now we feed the post.
I think that was a heat check from Franklin, if you want to know the truth.
Foul be against Brewer. It's a third for the Continentals, but his first.
I think he called a moving screen on 24. No, he called a hold.
Well, just like that, 4 fouls for Washington. I was about to make a comment about how not too worried about the bonus, but any more common foul will result in a couple free throw shots. That was Vandiver who picked that one up, his first. A little miscommunication there. Can Washington make them pay? And no, missing the bunny there for Washington. So it looked like Lowry was trying to find his teammate on the far wing. One of his other teammates thought it was for him, knocked it out of bounds.
We got free throws on the other end.
Those 3 fouls in the span of maybe 20 seconds for this Washington defense. Not what the doctor ordered. We'll see Wilson, an 81% free throw shooter at the stripe. Tonight's game is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, a leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors throughout Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give us a call today, 317-849-0810. First one successful, Wilson 7 points. And that breaks the tie. We've been tied for about 60 seconds or so. Hitting them both, we mentioned how great of a free throw shooter he can be.
Now Shortridge is going to press. See if they can get him sped up, make a mistake.
Certainly sped up, and it resulted in a missed 3 there. How about that play from Lowry to keep it in Blue Devil possession?
And that shot was the same as a turnover. I mean, he rushed a 3 off of 1 pass, and they didn't execute, didn't run any offense. So, once again, we see that full court pressure give returns to the team.
Full court pressure on the other end. Corner 3, that one no good as well. Miss from Wilson. Board for Brewer. Washington with 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter. They're not going to use them, though. Stolen away. What a move. Here's a one-on-one for Wilson, who lays it in. Double-figure scoring already for Elijah Wilson.
We'll see if they'll hold for one this time, Nathaniel.
Get a whistle and a turnover, and looks like Shelby walked with it.
I think they were trying to get the ball into Franklin's hands and then maybe do some kind of isolation play for him, but they just traveled before they got to it.
He hasn't had the ball as much on offense as you'd think with how successful he can be. Final couple seconds of the quarter from the volleyball line. My goodness, Elijah Wilson at the buzzer, his 3rd triple, and it's a 7-point lead for Shortridge at Indianapolis, Washington.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
13 first quarter points for one junior Elijah Wilson. Take a peek at this one as the clock expired from the volleyball line. He had no doubt there. This second quarter brought to you by Morales Group Staffing, in business to create a better future for you, for your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. Call today, 317-472-7600. Starting with possession in quarter number 2 and trailing on the scoreboard, the hosting Continentals.
Yeah, they had a little mini run, Shortridge there at the end of that quarter. Let's see if they can bounce back here, the Washington.
Here comes Brewer, fouled, plus he made the bucket. So an old-fashioned three-point play for Cameron Brewer. That's how he gets on the board.
That's a good sign for them to get him involved in their offense.
Yeah, second scorer and rebounder behind Franklin, and we see here, made him earn that one.
Yeah, the post guy guarding him just got way too high and got over the top, and that made it a pretty easy play for Brewer.
Brewer, very efficient, 53% shooter that leads the team. He just doesn't get the same volume that maybe a Franklin does or some of these other players.
Well, when you're a post player, Nathaniel, they have to pass it to you.
And he completes the three-point play. And this pressure ramping back up for the Continentals. Nearly gets home, too. Here's the three. Julian DeFrance can't connect. Defensive rebound, a rare one for the Continentals. Brewer, ooh, looked like that could have been a nice move. The feed, kept it in bounds somehow. Here's Franklin. I think he needs to just calm things down. Go score yourself, young man. And he does. Roosevelt Franklin.
Yeah, they had a whole lot of nothing going on there, and he just took it upon himself to go get a bucket.
So Washington sent Shortridge into the bonus in the first quarter, and just 60 seconds in, they hit another foul. It's a blocking foul. They're going to call it against Marion Shackelford. It's his first. Tonight's game brought to you by Boilermaker Local 374, representing highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. When you need a safe, dependable workforce for a new build, an upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Boilermaker Union Local 374 to do your job right the first time. Both free throws done right. Is that Wilson at the line? That's his 15th point. Brewer on the other end lays it in. That was a nice little runner.
Got great touch around the rim, Brewer does. If he can get in there around the basket, he's going to make a lot of them.
Here's another three. Boy, Elijah Wilson is feeling himself. I beg your pardon, that wasn't Wilson. There's his teammate Lowry. They're both hitting at all cylinders right now. Unlike Franklin, but his teammate helps him out. Brewer another bucket.
Really settled into the Stars so far in this first half, where both teams have kind of done all the scoring.
Nice move by the big man on the inside, T.J. Davis.
That was a really nice move by Davis. Good finish up on the glass. Split the defenders.
Franklin, tough defense from DeFrance. How about the extra pass? Could it lead to a three? It's a miss, but an offensive rebound. McLaurin can't hit, but his teammate Brewer cannot either. There's the cleanup. Nate Mahoney, his first bucket. And that prompts the timeout. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have consistently been the trusted allies for all your inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation needs. They stand as your comprehensive logistics partner. Ride with us. Call today, 317-396-1023. Your impression so far of a good start from Shortridge, Kevin Kuntz.
Well, there's no doubt why Coach McCrone called a timeout right there. They gave up 2 straight offensive rebounds. We talked about that in the keys to the game. Washington does a great job on the offensive boards, and Shortridge's coach right there, he's just getting into them and reminding them, that's a big part of what they have to do. They have to finish defensive possessions with a block out. They're playing good defense, and they've got Brewer and Franklin got away from them a little bit, but for the most part, they've done a good job. They just got to finish with those defensive rebounds.
We talked about how similar these two teams are, similar records, similar juncture of the season, a handful of losses in a row. The statistics are pretty similar as well, about the same amount of points allowed, points scored. The big difference, though, is the rebounding, and Washington a big-time advantage on the boards, 26 of those per game on average for the Continentals. Shortridge less than 20. So to your point, that's been a key for Shortridge all season, and that's continuing to rear its ugly head tonight. Tight feed on the inside, and it's stolen away. Pickpocketed from T.J. Davis. Here comes Franklin. A three from Sanders, and it's off the mark. Both these teams sub 30% from downtown, and aside from the top handful of stars, that's really been non-existent.
Washington continues to mix up their defenses. A little 1-2-2 half court.
Couple misses from the two bigs. Franklin left all alone. You can't do that. Nobody within a mile. And he has 9 points.
Yeah, Coach McCroney's imploring his bench the same thing you just said, Nathaniel. He turned around and everybody caught an earful on that one.
Another entry feed. He walked with it.
Can't pass it to yourself, unfortunately.
He tried to feed Davis, and instead Jean Decroix walked with it. So with that, Washington came back to tie it up. Now they have a chance to take the lead nearly halfway through the second quarter.
Both teams have had little spurts tonight offensively. Let's see who can make the most plays once we get into the latter part of the game.
McLaurin, a pretty tall guard. Oh, he gets it stripped away. Here comes Lowry with the right hand.
Too much dribbling there. You just need to move the ball. Pass the ball, move the ball.
McLaurin tried to return the favor, gets fouled. Should be Lowry's.
A little extracurricular underneath there. Sorry, yeah. Nathaniel. They called it. Referee got it. He saw it quick.
We talked about it pregame. Two city teams, they value these city wins quite a bit, so they may not be next-door rivals, but certainly can have a little bit of extra going on.
Good on the official. He saw it quick and got it shut down really quick.
Franklin to inbound. And now working on the inside, Vandiver. A nice little right-hander. He's got 3 buckets tonight. He's been an impact player. And we're tied up again to break the tie. That's no good. The offensive rebound unsuccessful as well. Franklin shows you why he averages 8 rebounds a game as a guard. He's just so good. Here's a triple. That one, no good. On the other end, Wilson can't go. Here's an offensive putback, and that one was impressive.
That's a good sign for Shortridge right there to get that offensive rebound and putback.
Nice block on the other end, finishing, and he does.
Yeah, Vandiver's been a big spark for him here in this first half, Nathaniel. He's come in once they subbed the seniors out, and he's really produced.
The game started 5-0 in Shortridge's favor, but to your point, they took the seniors. They got the honorary start on senior night off the floor. They put their normal lineup in, and they've performed pretty well since then. Nice feed inside.
He stepped out.
Yeah, he took a step on the baseline, so don't count the bucket from Brewer.
That's unfortunate. That was a heck of a pass by Shelby to Brewer on that back cut. They caught Shortridge staring at the basketball, and he was wide open.
Lowry to take his time across the 10-second barrier. Given a little bit of space here. Here's a corner three, and that one rattles out. Did everything but hit the bottom of the net. The board from Vandiver, and now Franklin can go to work. He'll call for the screen. Here's a triple. Sanders, no good. Only got one bucket tonight. Not for the lack of trying. Timeout on the floor. Dynamark presents this one for you. Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service. Call today, 317-328-2555. That is Dynamark. And that's a timeout there from Washington.
Yeah, Coach Dillard saw something he didn't. Sorry, Nathaniel. Coach Dillard saw something there he didn't like, obviously, and called that quick timeout to get his guys organized. Probably shot selection, if I had to guess. There was some shaky shot selection there in the last couple possessions.
Just over $2 left on the clock here in the second quarter. It's a big stretch. Going into halftime with any sort of lead really changes your psyche when you're sitting in that locker room. And I'm sure you can attest to that more than anybody.
You always want to win those certain segments of game. First four, middle four, last four. Those things are important in the halves. So this is in that last four section for both teams.
It's Kevin Kuntz, who coached high school basketball, multiple stops around Indiana for over 20 years. Washington did its job on defense following the Dillard timeout. Franklin, nice move, but the triple team does its job. And now out and running, it's a missed shot. That is a tough one from Wilson, a tough angle. And now see if Washington can capitalize with an extra man. Bounces around. Wilson, who was the fifth guy to show up, pulls down the board.
Yeah, Vandiver's got to see Brewer wide open underneath the basket there. He had him wide open.
And here's the three from Wilson, but it's short. Been scoreless the last minute or two.
You can see why Shortridge's coach gets concerned with him shooting too many jump shots. I mean, they're making him a profit tonight.
Here comes Franklin, tried to give it up, and it's stolen away. And for a guy who handles the ball so much, how about Wilson with the lay-in? His first bucket in a while. But for Franklin, who handles the ball so much, he doesn't turn the ball over too much. Corner three from Robert Sanders. He's been trying all night. He finally gets one to go. And that's big. That breaks the tie and puts Washington ahead. And now a chance to tie or take the lead from the free throw line will be TJ Davis. He's got a couple chances. It's a chance for me to tell you about Highway Safety Services. You do what you do, we'll keep you safe doing it. Contact us, 765-446-1502.
Yeah, that's a pretty good foul there by Franklin. He couldn't do anything with him. He might as well put him at the stripe and make him earn them.
Second foul from Franklin. And just the team's second, so no worry about bonus shots. But, of course, when you're going up and it doesn't fall, you get two opportunities.
Well, I apologize, Nathaniel, now knowing that he had a foul. I thought that was his first foul. That was not a smart foul because now they don't have him in the last 29 seconds for offense. He should just went straight up and let him score the layup.
But it worked out because he missed both free throw shots. So, yeah, to your point, you don't want Franklin to pick up a cheap one, his third before the half. So he'll sit the bench and see if his teammates can't do something. Gives Brewer a chance to shine. He misses. Here comes McLaurin. Brewer again. Brewer for almost a third time. Now with under 10 seconds. On the move, and that one is blocked.
What a hustle play by Brewer to get back and defensively. He's the guy that shot the ball in the basket, made the block on the other end.
And the attempt at the buzzer corner three from McLaurin is no good. Yeah, how about Brewer saving the points there? And while they can't convert, we're tied at 31. After a half of play, Nathaniel Finch, Kevin Kuntz, we will step aside, and then when we return, senior night activities here from Indianapolis, Washington on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Get a Gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. The guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
He's a center hole down the middle for his favorite team, his favorite coach is Coach G. Oh, man, he's I'm cool, funny, I'm a cool, funny coach. I appreciate you here. After high school, my man Garrett took his time to Indiana State University. His favorite coach is one more time, man. Y'all give it up for all the big homies. Yeah. It's always delicious. The next thing we're honoring to the sound of Mr. Nate Mahone. Nate got to knock out Billy Willis. He also played football here. His favorite team is Shortridge and Miss Lawrence. Hey, make sure I'll be on my grades and attendance. And Miss Lawrence helped me with his published and making decisions. After high school, Nate, you and Nick Garrett are going to be roommates together. They're going to take his son to Indiana State with his favorite quote. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. One more time, man. Y'all give it up for my man, Mr. Nate Mahone. Next thing we got to do is none other than my man, Mr. Tamari. We are walked out by the family group. We also participate in football. Senior boys, pick with y'all. Senior boys, you can jump in and pick with y'all.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really serve a lot of people year round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open. And so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. You know, donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so we're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space, and so we have bed capacities. For sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, and which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation, or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to really open your eyes to the community's needs than to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler Mission. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner. Come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, exactly. For IndianaSRN, this is Keith Myers.
We're even through 2 quarters of play. Still a handful of minutes left in halftime. I'm Nathaniel Finch, Kevin Kuntz. Washington hosting Shortridge. Both these teams knotted up here at halftime. Let's tell you how that happened for Washington. We knew the leading scorer was going to be Roosevelt Franklin, right? He averages 25 points per game, but he only has 9. That's kind of a success story for Shortridge, limiting him the way they have. Stepping up, Cameron Brewer, we knew he'd have a good game. He's got 7 points. Darius Vandiver stepped up nicely with 6 points. Robert Sanders has 5, and Zamarian Shackelford, Nate Mahoney, both with a bucket. As for Shortridge, the pair of guards that make up over 60% of the Blue Devils' offense really playing well. Elijah Wilson with 12 points, though kind of bottled up in the second quarter. And then Gavin Lowry right behind him with 9 points. Jalen Yates made a 3. TJ Davis had 7 points. That rounds out the scoring for the Blue Devils. Coach, do you have any statistics here that are kind of popping out to you?
Well, when you look at the shooting statistics, that both teams shot really poorly from three-point range. That's something you kind of pointed out at the beginning. Neither team is over 30%. So that's been a struggle for them all year and continues to be. However, for the Continentals of Indianapolis, Washington, they were 65% on 2-point field goals. So that was great for them. And then Shortridge was able to make up some of that scoring by going 7 for 8 from the foul line. And as a coach, I can tell you, if you can go 7 for 8 from the foul line, you'll take that any day of the week. And we talked about the rebounding. Washington out-rebounded the Shortridge by 6. However, Shortridge had 3 less turnovers, so those two stats kind of balanced each other out as well.
Today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written consent of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. When we return, we tell you our overall thoughts on the first half. I'm sure after hearing some of those stats from Coach Kuntz, you'll get an idea about what we're going to talk about. We'll give you the keys to half number 2. That's next. Tied at 31, IndianaSRN.
We're not here to just sell you another piece of software. We're here to helping you procure the licensing, manage and monitor those licenses over time.
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization. We definitely work as a team to deliver solutions for our customers.
We're here to build relationships with customers, which is unique.
Hi, I'm Grayson, and our parents work in road construction. Every day they head out to make our roads safer and better for you. But did you know work zone deaths have increased 63% since 2010?
Wow, that's a lot. Please slow down and pay attention when you see all those orange signs. When you do, you're helping to keep our parents and everyone who works on the roads safe. Thanks for looking out for us.
This message is brought to you by your friends at Highway Safety Services. Stay safe, stay alert.
Back here on IndianaSRN, Nathaniel Finch, Kevin Kuntz. And we've got what so far has been a fantastic game at Washington High School. Pregame, they renamed it the George McGinnis Gymnasium for good reason. The Basketball Hall of Famer passed away at the age of 73 2 Decembers ago. But the impact he had on the city, let's talk about that for a moment. Obviously, probably the best player. You could say he's among the top 2 ever to come out of the city of Indianapolis and go play in the ABA and the NBA. Had a fantastic single year at Indiana University, but maybe most importantly, at least to this school, led Washington to a 31-0 record. A state championship in 1969, was Mr. Basketball, not only in the state of Indiana, but in the country.
Yeah, he had an amazing career, and his legacy with the Indiana Pacers is massive for this city as well. So to have a connection in high school and professional, went down to, like you said, to Bloomington for a year. And like you said, I mean, Oscar Roberts is probably considered the best player, I would think, to come out of the city. But George is right there, and he was a phenomenal player for the Pacers, and it's really cool to see his high school gym named after him.
An All-American at IU, a 3-time ABA All-Star, and 2-time ABA champion, all with the Pacers, also the MVP of the ABA in 1975. He's a Hall of Famer for good reason, and now they call this the George McGinnis Gymnasium. All right, in this gymnasium, still 16 minutes of basketball left. We're even through 2 quarters. What are your general thoughts on that first half and what was some sloppy basketball at times and also some pretty high-level ball?
Yeah, I think probably both coaches talked about shot selection would be my guess. That was probably a topic of conversation for both teams. And then just kind of executing the game plan for 32 minutes, right? We talked about the the first 4, the middle 4, and the last 4. Well, here's the first 4 of the second half. So we'll see what this 4 minutes looks like for each team. One thing I just noticed, Nathaniel, is very interesting. Roosevelt Franklin is not starting for Washington to start this second half. I don't know if something happened at halftime, but Coach Dillard made a decision to not start his best player.
Only has 2 fouls, so it's not really a foul issue thing. We'll keep an eye on that. That's a great point, but it's a chance for Cameron Brewer to shine, who you see is the center right now manning the paint, number 33 in white. Well, in the dark blue, that is Shortridge and the Blue Devils. It didn't take long to get on the score sheet. A nice layup there.
Yeah, that was a great take by T.J. Davis. He got the ball at that right elbow, and nobody stopped him, and Brewer just kind of let him waltz right to the rim. He needs to do a better job getting that ball stopped.
Shortridge top-heavy so far this game, and I'll explain that more in a moment. But first, the miss, then the offensive rebound. How about the job from Kiwi Shelby? Here's Brewer under the bucket. A 3 from Sanders, and that one is in his second triple of the game.
What a find by Brewer to find the wide-open shooter from underneath the basket out there. That was a great pass, and wait for number 11 to stick it.
For Shortridge, Wilson has 12 points, Lowry with 9, and now T.J. Davis with 9. Not a lot of scoring or impact after that, so it's those top 3 players and not a whole lot else.
Can't tell if we're floor or free throws there. Nope, on the floor. It's kind of a confusing call by the official there. He was kind of late to point out if it was on the floor or in the act of shooting.
So Shortridge keeps it. Here's Wilson, who had an electric first quarter. Hands it off to Lowry, who gets it to bounce.
Well, it looks like there was some message, right, to Shortridge at halftime. That possession looked a lot different than several of their last possessions to end the first half. They drove the ball, they got the ball in the paint, and got a bucket.
Brewer on the inside. And, oh, man, he nearly gets it to go.
That would have been an unbelievable move.
DeFrance pulls down the board. Of course, the best player for Washington currently sitting on the end of the bench, waiting his turn. Unsure why. Here's Shortridge on offense. Ahead by a penny just a couple minutes into this half. Lowry, who scored 9 in the first half. He was productive inside and out, but not this time. Got it poked away.
Still another possession, right, where they're going downhill. They're driving the ball in the paint, not settling for jumpers.
And Vandiver poked it away. What about the impact he has had so far in this game? Yeah. Oh, another steal. And he will give it up. So some sloppy basketball in the last handful of seconds.
Yeah, Coach Dillard wants the ball to go inside to Brewer. I just saw him call the play.
A prophet. That's Kevin Kuntz. Also a coach of 20 years. He knows what he's talking about. This one left short, and it's Robert Sanders. Wilson with the board. And the pull-up. And my goodness, maybe you want to get a couple passes around on offense. That was an issue we noticed from Shortridge. They just walk across the line and pull up from 3. Nice effort from Lowry for the lay-in.
Give Lowry credit. That was 1-on-2 all by himself. Washington's got to get some help underneath the glass there. That was not a good start to the quarter. And there's Franklin. He's getting ready to check in, Nathaniel.
And how about Shortridge on offense? Not really moving the ball around as much as you would like. Really, both these teams across the timeline, and they're just immediately looking to pull up.
Good patience here by Washington to run their stuff.
McLaurin pulls up, and he gets that one to rattle down. An example of what I was talking about, but this one's successful. His first bucket today.
At least that's off in action, right? You come out, you run a ball screen, they pass the ball around, ran their stuff before they shot it. That's a lot different than a lot of the possessions we've seen in this game.
Shelby with some tight defense on Wilson, he gives it up. DeFrance calls for the screen. Look at this shot. And he can't get it to go. 2 white jerseys. He thought he could poke it in there. And now on the other end, here's the stoppage that will bring Roosevelt Franklin back into the game. A team leading 9 points in the first half. Top 10 scorer in the state, but he started this quarter on the bench.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate because we're not there. We don't know, but it's been my experience that generally it was probably some sort of little disagreement with the coach and the player, something was said or whatever. So you just make a point who's in charge and you move on.
You've done that plenty of times in your 20-plus year career, right?
You just make a point who the coach is, and then you move on. In competitive situations, right? People get into it. It's part of being in sports.
Here's Brewer. pull up from 6 feet, and he drops it in. A nice bucket. He's got 9 points.
That right-handed jump hook from Brewer is sweet, and he got it right in there in the paint and scored.
And we talked about this earlier. There's going to be a lot of eyes on Franklin this year as that one misses. But because of that, I think Brewer's going to get plenty of college looks, especially small college here around the state. He's a good player, just a junior. Here's a triple, rattles out, attempted by Shackelford. So a couple missed shots. Here come the Blue Devils. DeFrance can't get it to go. The offensive rebound and a foul. TJ Davis to the stripe.
Credit their energy to start this second half. I mean, they are playing really, really hard. Shortridge, I'm referring to.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and courts. Do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we can't play. Kevin Kuntz, you've coached for 20 years. How much experience do you have as an official?
None. I got a lot of experience yelling at them.
That's right.
Does that count?
So you're who this read is intended to target.
No.
Don't yell at the officials. We need them.
As long as you have officials who communicate with you as a coach, that's all you ask for. That's as long as they'll talk to you and try to explain to you what they saw and I'll listen to you a little bit. That's all you ask for. I probably didn't have a technical foul my last 15-plus years.
Davis ties it up. Of course, it was a 7-point lead after a quarter for Shortridge, and then Washington dug back in. We've been back and forth since.
Back and forth all night, right, Nathaniel? It's been run here, run there. Nobody can pull away.
And of late, the officials have let these guys play. You wonder how much of that is to do with the extended pregame that we had, dedicating the court to George McGinnis.
Yeah, and extended halftime.
Yep, with senior night here at Washington High School. But no complaints. It's fun to watch these guys run back and forth with little stoppage. Wilson on the wing.
To your point, it sure does help the flow of the game.
Mm-hmm. Tight defense from Washington. Can't quite make the Blue Devils pay. Great command on offense here from a handful of players reeling in what could have been easy turnovers. Here's the runner, and it's successful. Julian DeFrance. He's taken a few stabs, but it finally goes down.
That was a great possession from Shortridge there. That's exactly what Coach wants.
This one nearly poked away. Can Franklin hold on? Ball's on the ground. We haven't seen a tie up until now. No, he walked with it. They didn't give him the jump ball. They say it was a turnover on Mahone.
Credit both teams' effort right now, man. We got guys diving on the floor. Guys are hustling like everywhere. Hard-fought game. You can tell this game means something to both teams.
Each team looking for the rare city win. Just means a little bit more, especially here as we head toward the postseason just 12 days from today. The sectional pairing show to happen 6 to 8 on Sunday evening. These teams will figure out who they're going to play in that opening round of sectionals and see what the draw looks like.
Yeah, we mentioned that Cathedral Attic sectional for Shortridge. That's a big time sectional. Yep. And then you look at Washington's sectional, they got a 20-1 Northview team waiting on them. So both teams going to be challenged.
It's the IndianaSRN sports page. It's wall-to-wall news every day. High school, college, pro sports, we have it all. Check it out, IndianaSRN.org. Click on the sports page tab. Stay informed with the IndianaSRN sports page. And a big credit to our cameraman tonight. Tony Darengowski keeps up with that sports page quite a bit and keeps it running. Ben Wood, our director this evening. Kevin Kuntz to my right. I'm Nathaniel Finch. Second free throw, no good. Nearly losing it, the big man. It's King McLaurin. Picking it up, the other big man, Cameron Brewer. What about this spin move? Oh, Brewer. Crafty on the inside.
Nice up and under for Brewer. What a shot fake. Got his defender in the air, stepped right through and scored.
We're back to a penny game. Just under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Shortridge, how can they respond? Oh, it's a nice steal to the deck. They're going to say he traveled with it.
That's great hands by McLaurin, man. Man, he was quick to just pick that thing.
Wilson with a foul. His second. And that's Wilson, who had 10 points in the first quarter, has only made 1 bucket since then. His defense, nice adjustments from Coach Dillard. 5 years at Tinley, Dillard spent as the head coach. Really turned that program around, a regional title a couple of years ago. Here's his stab at Washington. After the turnover, Wilson on the move. We talked about it, both coaches in their first year with these schools. Ryan Mulcrone for Shortridge. The shot goes awry, but the board's successful for Shortridge, and another 3 is too short. And put the short in Shortridge, and now Franklin on the move.
Yeah, and they're not going to get very many offensive rebounds. They got to cash those in.
And Franklin's so smooth.
Yeah, he gets right to that elbow, Nathaniel, and he's a handful, man. He just gets right in there and rises up. He's tough to stop.
He pulled down the board, and he didn't even look at his 4 teammates. He knew his spot, and he knew how to put it in. That's his 11th point today, his first of the half. And the 3 is successful. Boy, they could have even called a foul there. How about that shot from Gavin Lowry?
Why'd we get stoppage? I'm confused. I don't know what happened there.
They might have thought there was a timeout.
Could have been, yep. Some
as he walked by, the ref tapped his chest saying, that's on me. Here's a 3. Missing the shot, but how about coming in and getting the board? Shackelford gives Washington another chance. And now to the stripe for 2 shots, King McLaurin. And he can tie it up. Yeah, it's Yates, Jalen Yates with his second foul. Bouncing a couple times. He won't be able to tie it up here.
We talked about it earlier, the difference in the free throw shooting. We got one team at over 70% in Shortridge, and Washington is in the 50s.
Tonight's game brought to you by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call him today for your coverage tomorrow. 317-894-7000. That's 7,000.
Yeah, when free throws are huge, Nathaniel, in these close games, and that's a big, big, big bonus for Shortridge tonight for sure.
We talked about how well they shot in the first half from the stripe. Really, the opposite can be said for Washington on the year. Just 57% as a team. Pull up from DeFrance, no good. Would have been cool to see that go. Wouldn't have counted regardless. It's a 2-point game after 3 quarters at Washington High School.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw. Boy, what a stick, huh? Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
A 2-point lead for the road team. Tonight's game brought to you by Make a Difference. That is by IndianaSRN. You can make a difference. Here's how. Help put more student athletes on TV, logging on to IndianaSRN.org and directing your donation to a specific school, or just hit the donate button. More games, more opportunity for our kids. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Washington starting with the ball here. Down on the scoreboard by a bucket. Cameron Brewer's going to slow things up, and now he pulls up a nice runner, but can't get it to go. The offensive rebound poked away, then grabbed again, and Roosevelt Franklin knots us up.
What a rebound by Franklin. He got in there amongst the trees, pulled that thing down, and got it up on the backboard for 2.
Had it stolen away and said, no, that's mine. Here's the response, and it's sent out of bounds. Nice block from Shackelford. It will be Shortridge basketball.
2 things to look at in this fourth quarter. Turnovers and free throw shots, right? Those are things that get you beat if you can't turn the ball over and can't convert from the foul line.
The set play, no good from Wilson. And there's a turnover. Seems like the coach of 20 years in Indiana basketball, Kevin Kuntz, knows what he's talking about. Here's a foul and a pair of shots.
And then McLaurin compounds the situation. He turns the ball over 85 feet from the basket and then fouls a guy to send him to the line. So just a tough play there. Coach Dillard talked about it when I met with him, right? Basketball IQ, 32 minutes, and so far those things are the things that have gotten them beat this year.
This quarter brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else for delicious food? If you're looking for amazing fresh food and servers that genuinely care about service, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. You won't be disappointed. 866-885-3249. They just opened a new location down in your neck of the woods in Greenwood. Oh, he let it go over the timeline.
Well, I don't mean to be prophetic, right? But that's 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. I mean, those are the kind of things that just right now mentally they're just not locked in where they need to be. Indianapolis, Washington's got to get locked in here. But we got a great one, 45-45.
It's Kevin Kuntz. I'm Nathaniel Finch, IndianaSRN. And a great game here from Washington High School. Here's the visiting team. Shortridge on the inside, and he traveled. Oh, he just barely dragged his pivot foot. TJ Davis's bucket does not count.
Yeah, that's a sophomore post player that in a couple years he'll make that play. That's just a little bit. He just kind of got bumped by the bigger Brewer there.
Brewer tries to put the runner in. He's missed from that spot twice. The rebound, though, from Mahone. Brewer again, spinning on the inside. He loses it, and the help is missed as well. Franklin again, an offensive rebound, and the 6'2" guard lays it in.
Man, he came out to play in this fourth quarter, didn't he? He's had great energy to start this quarter.
Offense and defense.
There's Franklin again.
Looking for the lob. It's poked away. So to your point, Roosevelt Franklin sat the bench for the first 4 minutes of that third quarter. Could have been a dispute with the head coach. You said that's where the head coach likes to show his authority and say, yeah, don't forget. But how about Franklin saying, don't forget how good of a player I am, and he's come out here and hit some timely buckets.
Right, and that may have not been what happened at all. Like I said, I'm not
just speculation.
I have no idea. He could have had something bothering him. Who knows? I'm just saying sometimes that happens. But hey, who cares what it was? The way he's responding right now, giving his team the lead, he's playing unbelievable to start this fourth quarter.
Makes Omar Dillard look like a genius. First free throw good for Jalen Yates. And a chance to tell you about Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. You can volunteer today, 317-686-6239. The final 6 minutes here from Washington High School.
As soon as we talk about Shortridge's free throw shooting, they missed 4 in a row.
The lob and the guard puts it in. That's Franklin. He's athletic. I'm not sure if he's tall enough to dunk it in game action, but jumping up there and making a nice play off the high pass.
Heck of a set by Coach Dillard.
Yes. And now Washington with a 3-point lead. That's, I think, their biggest lead today. They haven't been able to really put any separation. The Miss J gives them a chance to do that here. Roosevelt again. And you know the difference here in the second half? Really, both teams quit just jacking up threes, and they've really got the ball inside. And as soon as I say that, Franklin just pulls up and misses. Yeah, that's a turnover, and that's a cheap one, as it just goes out without a ton of pressure.
I'd look for him to get something to Brewer here inside.
Perfect chance inbounding under their own bucket. That's the Continentals of Washington. Nearly stolen away. Here's a 3 from Franklin, and that one is good. He's got 20 points today. He's done that nearly 20 times in his career.
Shortridge needs a good possession here. Don't let this thing get away from him.
Washington has protected home court like no other. 4-2 this year on this court. They changed the name tonight, George McGinnis Gymnasium, and it's a lead for Washington. 5 minutes to go in the game.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you...
Well, Roosevelt Franklin is a top 10 scorer in the state for a reason. Look at this. Nearly loses it, keeps his composure, and Coach, he puts it through the net.
Yeah, that's 7 points here in about 3 or 2 minutes here for Franklin to start this fourth quarter and to give his team a 6-point lead.
And he has 20 points overall. Certainly a candidate for the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. We'll find out about that in our Morales Group post-game show. Shortridge needing a bucket in the worst way. 5 minutes to go in this one at the newly named George McGinnis Gymnasium, Washington High School. McGinnis, of course, an Indiana Hall of Famer, or Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. That's Elijah Wilson to lay it in.
Yeah.
His first bucket of the half.
Wow, he's their best player. You know, he's over 20 points a game too, so big-time play there for him.
He had 10 points in the quarter, and that's only his second bucket since that first quarter. Here on the move when he can't get it to go. Stuffed by the rim was Lowry. Now we're running back and forth. And Washington slows it down a little bit. Oh, it's another cheap turnover. Just bounces off the unfocused hands of a Continental. And then a foul on the other end. Boy, that's a poor stretch of basketball for the Continentals. Sanders gave it up, and then a foul on the other end.
I think Sanders was shooting that one before he had possession on it, Nathaniel.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Highway Safety Services. You do what you do, we'll keep you safe doing it. Contact 765-446-1502. The first of a pair from the stripe. We are halfway through the final quarter. And adding to his total is Elijah Wilson.
Shortridge had missed 4 free throws in a row before that. We talked about free throws and turnovers in these close games, so that's a good sign for them.
We talked about with Elijah Wilson here, the team's top scorer. He's been fantastic this year. And he came out of the gates hot with 10 points in the opening quarter, but he's been cold. That doesn't matter if you can put together some points here in the fourth.
Free throw line's a great place to start.
Just saw 2 of them go through the bottom of the net. Certainly good for the confidence of a streaky guard. Well, Washington had a nice little lead. They've seen Shortridge score a couple quick ones. Can they increase it here? Inside. Brewer loses it, and it's another turnover. That's been a huge key here of late. Washington giving it up. Lowry looking to take over. Inside the feed and the foul. No, he walked with it first. Oh, TJ Davis is upset, and I don't blame him.
Wow. What a huge swing right there, right?
That could have been a 3-point play.
That could have been the lead in the game there for Shortridge. Instead, Washington maintains the ball.
And a 2-point lead, ever so slight, but you can hit a bucket or 2 here in a row. You can really change the complexion of things on your home floor. A treat here on senior night for George Washington. The offense taking its time wisely. Just a handful of minutes left in the lead. And a travel. Franklin turns it over. He has 20 points today, but there he couldn't get his 22nd. A chance to tie or take the lead for Shortridge. Just 3 bills left in this one. Good defense on this possession for Washington so far. Oh, nice move. How about the speed for Elijah Wilson? Just picked it up and bolted. He gets fouled.
Yeah, just too quick. Washington couldn't stay in front of him, and then the help was way too late, resulting in the foul was the best they could do on that possession.
Shelby's second. That's the 4th for Washington. Not a single foul yet this quarter for Shortridge. That's huge, which means bonus shots from now on for the team in black and blue.
Yeah, with that new rule, 5 fouls in the quarter is a double bonus. That's crazy. That's a big advantage for Shortridge as we close these last 3 minutes.
Turnovers and fouls starting to eat at the Washington Continentals, but they still hold a penny lead. That can be tied right here from Elijah Wilson, who's really come on of late. He's hit 4 straight from the line in the last 2 minutes.
He's the guy you want shooting him if you're Shortridge, that's for sure.
A whistle.
What do we got? Bench warning on the coach. He felt like Franklin got bumped on that last travel call. He was pretty demonstrative towards the official, and so that's a result of. And he wasn't wrong. Franklin did get bumped. I don't know if it was what caused the travel, but there was definitely some contact.
DeFrance will guard from full court. Shelby crosses the timeline. 2.5 minutes to go in this one. Oh, and it's another turnover. No, getting lucky, the Continentals. They say it went off the hand of T.J. Davis.
It did. It went through the Continental player hand, through the Blue Devil player hand, right out of bounds.
The lucky break. Here's Washington tied at home. Been fantastic on home court this year, and there's the and one. Franklin for 2, put him at the line for a third.
Big bucket. Franklin's been massive in this fourth quarter.
And we talked about the struggles from the line, as you see here, just finding a way to get it to go despite the contact. A much taller Davis. Franklin's been the only reliable free throw shooter this season, and he continues that here. 23 points in the game. And most of those coming in the last few minutes. We talked about it pregame. He's a streaky shooter, Kevin, and he's really showing that here. He's got hot right when it matters most. Down 3 with 2 to go. Shortridge. Oh, a wide open bucket. A nice pass in Davis after the unselfish play from Lowry.
Yeah, Macklin got lost defensively and just hung his teammate 33 Brewer out to dry on that one.
I think Franklin might have got some luck there. He went up in what would have been a low percentage shot, took some contact instead. So we'll get another chance at it. Of course, nowhere near the bonus, so Washington won't be shooting free throws anytime soon. How about that discipline from Shortridge? Not fouling when it matters most.
I think we got a 30 here from Shortridge.
What do you think we're going to see the final 2 minutes here? And what has been a tightly contested game? Just 1 point separates the two teams.
Yeah, neither team runs a lot of offense. Neither team is really a grinded out team. So I would expect we'll see more of what we've seen. We'll see early shots on the clock, or early shots in the possession rather, and just the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and then the team that can make it count at the free throw line should be able to pull this thing out.
It's George McGinnis night at Washington High School. Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana and the country when he was at Washington, a 31-0 season, state championship in 1969. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. He's a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer for a reason. The late George McGinnis gets this court and gymnasium named after him tonight. It's also senior night in Washington, trying to protect home court one more time this year.
Meeting of the minds here with the officials. They must be, I don't know if it's a clock review or if they're reviewing that bench warning. They might have just been asking him what happened, so they're all on the same page.
Kevin, both these teams on a skid right now. 4 of 6 losses for Washington. Shortridge has lost 3 straight. What would a win like this do for your confidence heading into postseason play in just 12 days?
No, it's massive. You want to get on a little bit of a roll, right? You got a couple games left here to end the season, get some positive momentum, and get your kids feeling like they can win every game in front of them.
Franklin's a top 10 scorer in the state. He can play some defense, too. You see him really bother Shortridge.
That was probably an ill-advised shot by Washington. I mean, neither Brewer or Franklin touched the ball in that possession.
Token pressure here from Washington. Shortridge a chance to take the lead here. 90 seconds to go in regulation. This is Wilson, who's been fantastic, especially of late. Feeds the big man. Here's Yates, who leaves it short from 3 feet. Oh, my goodness, that's huge. and it's going to be Washington basketball.
What a pass from Davis inside, too. He found Yates wide open because both guys went with Davis and left him wide open in front of the rim, and he just sometimes you're just too open. It's almost like he short-armed it.
He was the team's top scorer a year ago. He's taken a step back scoring-wise this year, and boy, had a chance to make a huge bucket there to take the lead. Yates unable to get it to go, and now Washington with a golden opportunity. We'll step aside. 1 point separates these two teams late at Washington High School.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Final stages of a tight city game here at Washington High School. The Continentals with a 1 point lead. They also have the ball. Final minute and a half on home court. Kevin Kuntz, a big stretch of basketball here as we near the postseason.
If I'm Coach Dillard, it better go through Franklin or Brewer's hands every possession from here on out.
Get a foul called here.
Next foul on both teams will be free throws for both teams.
Shortridge did a great job not fouling until the last minute or two. And all of a sudden, like you said, bonus shots from here on out. Tight defense from Shortridge. They've really been able to lock in at times. The runner, it rolls in. How about McLaurin? It's around and down.
3-point game here. We'll see what Shortridge decides to do.
The final minute of action from Washington High School. That's ill-advised as he pulls up two guys in front of him at the volleyball line. And now Washington, wide open under the bucket. How about this stretch from George Washington? Brewer lays it in. Another run-up three. That one is no good. Shortridge in desperation mode when it doesn't have to be.
Are they going to foul? There they go.
And there's the foul. So the final 30 seconds will be a fouling game. Boy, I'm sure that Ryan Mulcrone is upset right now.
I don't know. I'm not real sure what those shots were, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, that's your best player, right? I get that. I get that he's your best player, but there's the no pass 25-foot three is a tough thing.
With two guys ahead of him too, and you see on the far part of your screen being helped off the floor is Roosevelt Franklin, the training staff attending to him. He's got 23 points so far. He's a big key for this Washington team.
I think looked like he got poked in the eye or something.
So we'll bring in his replacement for the time being. But for Washington, you have to feel great about where you are. You're in the free throw game with a 5-point lead.
Yeah, but you don't want Franklin out for very long. Well, blood on his uniform, okay.
How about the camera work there from Troy Derengowski?
Nose. He got popped in the nose.
Ben Wood, our director. The aforementioned Troy Derengowski, our camera operator, who can't hear us but knows exactly what's going on down there. George McGinnis Gymnasium. Let's talk about the implications of this win. Both coaches talked about how important these city games are. This one could be big as we only sit 12 days away from postseason action.
Yeah, and 2 free throws here, and you got a 3-possession game, and that's massive for Coach Dillard in Washington. And like you said, to get a city win, build momentum as we head into the final few days and prepare for the sectional and state tournament.
And to do it on George McGinnis night and on senior night. This will be a memorable one for these kids at Washington.
Great point, Nathaniel. It will be to get that court dedication, and then you get the senior night on top of it. That'd be a massive win. We still got a lot of time here. Yeah. They've got to execute, and we've seen that Shortridge ain't afraid to shoot it quick, and if they make a couple, this thing could get interesting real quick.
We talked about McGinnis plenty tonight, as they're now going to clean up some of the blood off the floor. George McGinnis already has his jersey hanging from the rafters at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, his number 30 that he wore at the Pacers as a fantastic player, a Hall of Famer for the Indiana Pacers. Also went to Indiana University and then attended and really changed Washington High School. Has his jersey retired and hung up at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Now he'll have his name forever immortalized in this gymnasium. And as a move that, Kevin, we're kind of surprised it took them this long to dedicate the court after him. This would have been a no-brainer about 25 years ago.
Yeah, you never know how those things work. You know, I don't know what goes into the thought process on naming things and how they decide to do that. I'm not sure. Looks like they're going to get Franklin a new uniform.
And, you know, McGinnis had to wait plenty before his turn in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2017. Well, now we're talking about a player at his peak in the 70s, so he's used to having to wait. Unfortunately, passed away 2 Decembers ago in 2023. So he's unable to enjoy this night, but so many close to him, including plenty of former teammates, spoke pregame. And we'll see if the school can get a win for Mr. McGinnis. You see Franklin now wearing number 42 after he scored 23 points in the prior jersey.
I don't know what we got going on now.
Now take me in the mind.
We got no Shortridge on the court. Oh, there they go. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Take me in the mind of these coaches. After we had a nice flow, Washington takes a lead. You get a stoppage for about 5 minutes here. We get a timeout as well. How does that kind of change the momentum here with 30 seconds left?
It definitely took Washington's momentum away. They had all the momentum, and now we've not had any basketball for about 5 minutes. Now Franklin should not be allowed to check in the game here. There has to be one possession before he can check in. So he still should be over there on the. I think that's what Coach Diller was trying to get done. But there's not been a possession of basketball take place since he was out with blood. But if the officials allow it, then they allow it.
Yeah, there we go. They're allowing it.
That's good for Indianapolis, Washington. That's for sure. I sure want him out on the court. So 2 big free throws here for Vandiver. Is that our shooter? It's been so long.
I think so. Yeah, I know. I think it is. I think you're right.
Okay. So 2 big free throws here, and then they just need a solid defensive possession, right? Force a tough shot, rebound it, and then put this thing away.
The final 30 seconds ahead of us.
And if you're Shortridge, you need to. If they miss a free throw, you need to clean block out, get it down there, get a quick score, timeout, set your defense, and go.
The Morales Group post-game show coming up in a moment. Our director tonight, Ben Wood. Camera at Indianapolis, Washington, Troy Darengowski, Kevin Kuntz. 20-plus year coach in the state of Indiana in the sport of basketball. He sits to my right. And there's the first from Vandiver. His first scoring this half.
Mm-hmm. This next one's massive because it makes it 3 possessions.
Pushes that one through. It's a 3-possession game. Shortridge must hurry. They break the press. Here's a 3 from the corner, and it's good. That's a good start.
Coach didn't take time.
Yeah, on the move here. There's the foul.
I think he was trying to take time out. I just don't think they saw him.
How about Asher Davis, who hasn't played at all this game, has come off the bottom of the bench and hit a big 3 in the corner there.
Yeah, that was a big 3 to keep him kind of in the game, but I think the coach from Shortridge was trying to get a timeout. I think that Washington just got the ball in so quickly that he couldn't get it. I mean, credit Washington for being that's a great basketball play.
Brewer misses his first, just a 43% foul shooter. Again, as a team, Washington just 57% from the charity stripe. They like to leave a lot out there.
They need to get matched up defensively because that kid was wide open in the corner last possession.
10 seconds left, desperation time. And about 6 steps, nothing called. Here's the same kid, Davis. The magic runs out. That's the end of the game. Indianapolis, Washington on George McGinnis night gets the come-from-behind win, a 5-point victory for the Continentals. And now it's time for the Morales Group post-game show. Kevin Kuntz, let's start with our player of the game. It's the Piper Logistics player of the game. Piper Logistics, your trusted logistics partners since 1994.
Well, tonight's player of the game from Indianapolis, Washington is junior guard Roosevelt Franklin with 23 points. And man, did he come out in the fourth quarter and change the entire momentum of this game. Had 2 and 1, stuck a 3, and after that it was Indy Washington the rest of the way.
Frankly, kind of slow in the first half. Franklin used to scoring a lot. This is below his season average. Came out slow, was really guarded well, but then just came out on fire, especially late third, early fourth quarter to put this game where it was, and Washington hangs on with free throws. A 5-point win at home on George McGinnis night, honoring the late Hall of Fame basketball player from Washington, from Indiana University, and the ABA Indiana Pacers. We appreciate our director, Ben Wood, our camera operator, Troy Darengowski. For Kevin Kuntz, I'm Nathaniel Finch saying so long from IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.